Hi, I'm Phil Ball, pastor of Odyssey Christian Church in Jenks, Oklahoma. We're part of the Christian Church Disciples of Christ, and we offer a non-judgmental approach to support your personal journey of faith. After the message, we invite you to keep listening for a presentation from our wonderful band. And if you want to experience worship live, we invite you to find out all the details at www.facebook.com/Odyssey CC.
This is a new song. It's called Come, Now is the Time to Worship. It's something I sang in high school. I'd like for us to implement it into our normal praise stuff. So I hope you enjoy. Now is the time to worship. Come. Now is the time to give your heart. Come. Just as you are to worship. Come. Just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. Come.
All right, good job, Odyssey. Thank you, band, very much. That's wonderful, 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 wonderful. If you're a guest here tonight, I kind of explained how we do a few things. I get 3 wonderful volunteers who are willing to help with communion. Anybody? 1, 2, 3 need helper? Oh, there's 1, there's 2, there's... Dang, that was good. I love that. All right, so that'll happen in a minute. But then we do prayer time, and people just say prayer concerns as they feel them, and Joe puts them up on the screen, and then on Monday morning we send them out in an email that goes out to about 152 addresses. And so if you'll notice up here, it's obvious we've gone to purple, which is the traditional color for the season of Lent. It's one of two purple seasons. Thank you, Stephen. That's excellent. It's a time of reflection. It's a time of introspection. And the dramatization of that is that in Luke chapter 9, verse 51, it says that Jesus turns his face resolutely toward Jerusalem. And by that, it's saying he knows he's going to Jerusalem to die. And that's even more significant in the Gospel of Luke, because in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus only goes to Jerusalem one time as an adult. In the Gospel of John, he's down there about every 6 weeks for something or another. But in the Gospel of Luke, he only moves there one time, and so he sets his face. So what we do in this time of Lent is we do self-examination in light of our death, that are limits in all of our lives. And so it's a time of reflection on our lives, and nobody tells you what that should look like for you, but it's a time to give you a chance to do a survey of your interior, to find out how things are going, and to be able to talk about that with God, which is one of the things you could be writing about in your prayer steps. So I think there's something that happens, and this is a little mystical, that something that happens in this season that, like today, and in fact, starting with the Grammy Awards, for some reason, out of the sky, I have no clue, I started doing self-examination. And it's almost something that I've watched happen, because I've been paying attention to this whole church seasonal cycle for at least 30 years. And that I've been doing this kind of stuff for longer than that. I've been paying attention, and there's something that happens in this period where things will go on in our lives. We'll have a birthday, or something will go on, and we'll ask ourselves, am I doing what I need to be doing? What about it? It's like, I don't know if we show up being frustrated. I don't know, if our jobs get too hard or too easy, or something happens with our family or our kids, or something happens with our bodies, or something goes on, and we start going, is this what I really want to do? Well, that is the season of Lent. It's like, don't feel put upon. Don't feel like you're crazy or something has gone wrong, even though it might have. It's just the reflection time of Lent. And so that's what we're about in this season, and as we begin to move toward communion. And so I'm going to offer that after you take communion, I'm going to be kind of over here with my microphone off in front of the speaker. And if you would like to have a cross put on your forehead with these ashes that come from our sacred chimenea on our sacred deck. Traditionally, the ashes of Ash Wednesday come from, if a person does it, which I've done it this way before, come from the palm branches from previous year's Easter. And you save them, and then you burn them all up, and then you impose those on people. But we don't do palm branches at Easter, so it's my sacred deck, and it's sacred. Okay. So, and basically the imposition is on your forehead with the words, "From dust you have come, and to dust you will return." And it's a way of talking about those self-examination that goes on within the limited context of our lives. And you don't get an extra cookie if you come over here and get this. This is offered for you as a way for you to do your own spiritual journey, because that's what all these things are set up to do. They're not set up so that you can honor the church. The church sets them up so that you're nurtured in your spiritual journey. And so you decide whether or not they're meaningful or helpful. The other thing that we found helpful to do, and I always do it in front of everybody, and I promise you, I have no clue what word is on what card, but up here on top of the raised platform are a bunch of words printed on these pieces of paper, and we invite you to pick up a word and live with it for this period of 40 days, not counting Sundays, and just see what happens. We're not saying that, if it says, stand on your head 15 minutes a day. You know, that's not the issue. It is a contemplative word. Every word up here is different. I think there's 75, 72, something like that, words up here. And each word is different. There are no duplicates. But they're all reflective things. Like I found one from several years ago over on the console that we run sound with. It was the word contemplation. Okay, that's the kind of word that's up there. So I picked mine up in front of everybody, and so everybody gets to know what I got. And sometimes you don't tell people. And by the way, like I said, I have no clue. This one says deepen. Some people who know me say, no, please don't. But that's what this one says. So that's what I live with. And it will inform me in some kind of way that I don't know about. And there are people who actually pick up words on behalf of family who can't be here and all kinds of things. But that's up here. So when you come up for communion, you're invited to light a candle as you offer up prayers. If you brought gifts, to place them in the tray and to pick up your word if you want it, and to receive communion. And by the way, this is the way we do this, is tear it off and dip it, and it is real wine, so if you have a problem with that, I apologize. And then you can come over here, and I will take the ashes over there, okay?